Hey everyone! So this video we're going to focus on just the microbiome. Anyone who's researching gut health, microbiome gets used a lot. So I really wanted to break that down because as we talk about it and as it relates majority in our literature to the GI tract, which is very true, the microbiome itself is the compilation of all the different microbes all over the body. So not just do you have microbes that create an environment within your GI, but it is in every organ, all of your biofluids, all of your mucosal layers. So not just the mucosal layer within your GI, but your oral mucosal layer, your genital mucosal layers, all of the surfaces, your eyelashes, your hair, your placenta, all parts of you are made up of different organisms that do different functions. Protection, bringing up different vitamins, minerals, creating proteins, healing, the whole 9 yards. So when we're looking at the microbiome, for those who have asthma or constant yeast infections or constant ear infections, we can look deeper, and this is where I love it as a functional medicine nutritionist, into that environment. And the environment is very related to the microbiome within that section of the body. So what makes up the microbiome in itself? So is bacteria, archaea, fungi, protists, and viruses. So all of these are normally working together, maybe fighting some off, maybe helping each other out, but most of them are commensal. So that means that they're going to be beneficial or they do not cause any harm. So a few years ago, I was reading a article from Harvard that was breaking down the microbiome, and I never forgot the analogy. I love analogies, and you'll know that as you go through my videos. But the analogy they gave for the microbiome was thinking of a huge city. So thinking of a huge city, and you look down into the city and you see all the people going, and everyone's kind of just doing their own thing, minding their own business, interacting, going to their job, doing what they got to do, and everything is running, is going, is good. And unless something big happens, nothing really disrupts that process in that city. And so I thought that was just a great way to look at it, because it also goes a step deeper. So no two microbiomes are the same. So just like no two cities are the same. So we can have New York City as one microbiome, and then we can have LA as a different microbiome. Both great cities, huge cities, lots going on, lots of people, lots of businesses, lots of everything. But yet they are very, very different environments, very different climates, very different functions, very different set of ideas, very different ways of functioning. And that is okay. It is very relatable to how it works inside each individual. So the parts that can really disrupt this microbiome would be different diets. Diets can really play a role because if you think about it, they're living organisms. So they're going to eat what you eat, which is also where the saying is, you are what you eat. So you can choose what you feed within your microbiome. So what is able to take up more residency, and what is able to really prosper most, thrive, survive within this complex living situation that it has going on. So when you talk about the human microbiome, it is also in some literature called the human metagenome, just so you know if you're doing more deeper research into this topic. And so to really give an idea of the complexity and the importance of the microbiome, I'm sure you already know the importance as far as it giving so many different functions of the body. And in fact, it gives so many different functions and important daily functions to the body. It is now considered a supporting organ. And so though it's not an organ we can just take out in one piece, the compilation of the human microbiome is considered a supporting organ. Without it, we cannot survive. And with a dysfunction inside of it, the body feels it. A part of the body, depending on what part of that microbiome is being affected, will be affected, whether it's for health or start to break down, illness, disease. So another thing that can really disrupt your microbiome would be consistent use of antibiotics or other pharmaceuticals that can disrupt their process, and also infectious illnesses. So I wanted to give you the bigger picture of the microbiome. Within the GI, that is one section, and it is a very, very, very important section, especially that here I focus on gut health, but it is so much beyond the gut health. I take into consideration the entire person, and everything is interrelated. So if we get to the basics, what are the basics? Why would my 5-year-old patient still be getting ear infections all the time, while I'm also seeing allergies, while I'm also seeing the development of skin rashes and development of asthma? What is all in common? We're going back to the gut, we're going back to the microbiome, and we're going to look at that as a whole. So the microbiome is going to affect the entire body, and you do treat the microbiome differently. So I'm not going to give the same probiotic and the same set of instructions if I'm working in the ear, nose, throat, sinus area of the body as I am if I'm working on the gastrointestinal microbiome, as I would be if I'm working on, for a woman, the vaginal part of the microbiome, with all having very different environments and very different needs and very different bacteria that are needed to make that function 100%. So questions, comments, concerns, please leave it down below. I hope this helped and kind of gave you a more overall broken down picture of exactly what your microbiome is and what makes you up.
Thank you, everyone. I am so excited to share with you all of my tips and tricks and insights when it comes to leaky gut. So please subscribe and join our Freedom from Leaky Gut Facebook group to learn more.